Hi there, welcome to today's session on how to play praise bassline. Okay, now these are the basic topics you shouldn't joke with. These are the basic topics you need to know to efficiently play praise song and reggae song. Okay, if you know these topics, honestly speaking, there is no praise song that will come your way that you will not key. There is no praise song or reggae song that will come your way that you will not create some nice bass lines around the progression and nice reading. Now, let me tell you something about praise or reggae. So everything I'm sharing with you on praise is the same idea you're going to use on reggae. Now, this is it. Praise is all about building patterns, building nice reading. Okay? Patterns, nice reading. That is all. That is praise for you. You understanding the beats, the rhythm coming out from the drummer, the beats coming out from the drummer. That is praise for you. And another thing about praise is improvisation, how you make use of those notes. Okay? How you make use of those patterns. That is it. That is all you need for praise. Create a particular pattern. Pattern is different from you playing a scale. Pattern is different from you playing a scale. Okay, create a particular pattern. You can use that pattern on almost all the chord progression you are to play on that praise song or reggae song. Let me list the basic topics you need to, if you've not been taking it serious, you need to just go work on this basic topic. Now, this is the number one topic. The number one is major, you knowing the major and minor scale. Number two is you knowing the third interval. We have two types of intervals. We have the major third interval and we have the minor third interval. The major third interval came out from the major scale. The minor third interval came out from the minor scale. Now, number three is you knowing the major triad and the minor triad. The minor triad came out from the minor scale. The major triad came out from the major scale. Number four, you need to know the fifth interval. Okay, number five, you need to know the fourth interval. Number six, you need to know the octave. Number seven, you need to know how to play the arpeggio. We have two types of arpeggio, even more than two types. We have four types of arpeggio, but the commonly used ones on praise is the major arpeggio and the minor arpeggio. Okay, so you need to get used to all the topics. Then the last one, you need to develop a techniques on praise. Praise, the technique they use more on praise is more of the sliding to the chord progression you're going or to any note you want to play, and muting. Now you're bringing out ghost notes. Those are the two basic techniques you use on praise. Okay. That is it. What I did now is a typical example on how your praise bass line should be sounding. So let's get started. All the things you've learned so far, the major triad, the arpeggio, the octave, the 15th interval, 14th interval, and everything. Now is the time for you to start using them to create bass lines, to create patterns that suit the chord progression of any praise song you want to play to. Okay, now is the time to start using them to construct that bass lines you really want to hear coming out from your hands, from your fingers. Okay, so I'm going to show you a typical example on how to start making use of them. Praise is not difficult. Worship is more difficult than praise, if you check it, because worship you have to be disciplined, but for praise you also have to be disciplined because you're also working with your fellow band, your team members, your band, your drummer is there. You need to sync with the rhythm the drummer is giving you. Okay, so anything you're creating here must sync with the rhythm the drummer is giving you. Okay, that's praise for you. Praise is after you've gotten your key, you need to create a pattern that will suit the progression you're going. Okay, first you need to get your key. Second, you need to know the progression of the song. Of any praise song, you need to know the progression. See if it's only major chord, major progression on that song, and also see if it's a combination of major and minor notes or chord progression. When you're creating pattern, you need to learn to fit in the pattern that will work on a particular chord you're going. So for the major, if I have a progression, for example, if I have a progression that is 1 4 5 6, if I have this progression, any rhythm or any pattern I create on the 1, it will work on the 4, it will work on the 5, but it will not work on the 6 because the 6 is a minor chord. Okay, this is how these patterns work. And when you create your bass lines, now creating bass lines does not mean you are going to be on on one note. When you want to create any praise bass line, it must surely involve 2 notes, either 2 or 3 or 4 notes you're playing. Okay, praise is not like worship where you just rest on one note and you're waiting until you go to the next chord progression you're going. Okay, and you just add passing notes to the next chord progression you're going. Praise is not like that. Praise is all about pattern, and that pattern is the things you already know. The interval is a pattern. The third interval is a pattern. The fifth interval is a pattern. The sixth interval is a pattern. Octave is a pattern. So you need to watch carefully when you attack your praise progression. Okay, so this progression, because the fact that I choose a chord progression on 1 4 5 6 does not mean the pattern I create on the 1 will work on the 6. See, it's sounding off. So the 1 is different. So I'm going to the 6. I need to use the minor third interval on the 6. That will make that 6 to work perfectly well. Okay, so the third interval I use on the 1 will definitely work on the 4 because the 4 is also a major. Will work on the 5 because the 5 is also a major, but will not work on the 6. If you play it like this, you're hitting a wrong note because the pattern you created on the 1 did not fit the 6. Why? Because the 6 is a minor chord, is a minor progression, is a minor note. Okay, so these are major, 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 but this, it will not be major. Your 6 will not be major, it will be a minor. Okay, that's why any pattern you're creating on a minor note, each shape, each pattern is far different from how you create patterns for the major, how you create bass lines for the major. These are the bass lines here you create for the major. So on the 1, I'm doing this. This is it. The 6 perfectly work because it's a minor third, major third, major third, major third, minor third. Okay, so that's why it's always advisable for you to know these basic topics. Okay, these are what you use to create bass lines. Bass line does not drop from heaven. These are what you use. Another secret that will make your bass line interesting is when you also learn how to invert. Inverting there means you're being creative. Okay, with your third interval, you know how to play. This is the third interval, straight up, minor third, major third, major third, major third, minor third, because it's the 6th note. Now, any bass line you're constructing or pattern you're constructing is always good for you to also think of the inversion aspect. Okay, when you invert, it makes your bass lines, your rhythm sound so interesting. If you've been playing this, the inversion simply means they say this thing is like this, turn it the other way around. That is inversion. So on the note here, the third interval, the inversion will be If I'm doing the third interval, major third interval will be the root and the third, right? Now I said invert it. You will start from the third and the one. That's all. Now imagine I'm doing. Now I want to invert it. That same bass line, the pattern I've created, I want to twist it the other way around. I can start from the third. That is it. Now I'm starting from third of each of the interval. Third interval. I'm starting from each third, not each root anymore. So this is how your creativity comes alive when it comes to creating bass lines, and you bringing out different sound with your fingers and the way you reason, locking with the drummer and things like that. So I'm going to show you typical example, okay? Now the song we are going to use is Glory be to the Lord in the highest. Hallelujah. There are some songs that you will stay for so long on the one chord. Yeah. Now what are you going to be doing if you're on that one chord for so long, for like how many bars? What are you going to be doing? Will you just be like glory be to the Lord and you're just there? Hallelujah. You're just there. You're meant to be doing something. You're meant to be playing around with that chord progression, because they stood on that one chord progression for a very long time, for like how many bars? So you're meant to, this is where your creativity also comes in. What are you going to build on that one chord? You're going to think of how you just put one or two notes together to give you some nice rhythm, okay? So you fall back at the one chord as long as they stay there until they move to the next chord progression. Now this is how the song goes. So that is it. There are some particular songs they give you space to just build something different. Okay, so you can't just be doing that glory be to the Lord in the highest and you're doing hallelujah, glory be to the Lord. You can't just be doing that. Remember, you're on key C, and there are so many things you can be doing around that chord progression that will fit in that chord progression you are for that harmony bar. Okay, you can be doing this. You sure must do something when it comes to songs like this. You can't just be resting on the one. You must get to hit one or two notes and go back to the one. That is what they are expecting you to do. So there are so many things you can do on that one chord. Okay, so what I was doing there, the first thing, let me first explain before we expand on that. Now, the first thing I was doing there, I was doing octave with my ghost notes. That was what I was doing. 1 1 3 4 6 5 1, which is do do mi fa la so do 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 mi fa la so do do mi fa la so do. At the point I started adding the flat 7 do, using the fifth interval. So it's as if I'm playing the fifth interval on those two notes, using the fifth interval pattern on those two notes. So I'm doing root 5, root 5, root 5, root 5, root 5. So this note here is not root 5 again. You can see it as root 5, but it's your flat 7. Do, do. Flat 7 always work when it's break like this for some certain praise songs. The flat 7 always work. They always involve the flat 7, and you will see everybody playing that. So that was what I was doing there. Okay, then everybody shout hallelujah. I started using the triad. So I should be able to know the triad that will work on this chord progression. So everybody shout hallelujah. The chord progression is different. Hallelujah. 2, 5. That's the basic progression. Everybody shout hallelujah. 4, 2, 5, 1. Shout hallelujah. Fa, re, so, do. That is it. So I started using the triad that will fit in that progression. Different triad. Major for major, major triad for major chord, minor triad for minor chord. So I got to use the triad that will, that will fit each of the move. With the passing note I'm adding to the move to play the triad, each of this triad. So see, so I'm doing okay, I kind of hit the 5. So the main note of the triad I silenced was the 3rd. And play the 5 and land on the 1. Okay. Okay, so that was what is happening there. So that is that.